All right, Sports Inquirer here with Coach Helton from Georgia Southern Football. Coach, second year with the program. How has this offseason been, and is there just more comfort level with you overall being in Statesboro?
Yeah, definitely. I thought in year one to have a team that built in confidence with some quality wins in Lincoln, Nebraska, and having a top 25 win over JMU, and having the opportunity to beat our arch rivals to go to postseason play, did some nice things. And now it's about trying to progress. Don't get comfortable. Don't get stagnant. Having the opportunity to be what we want to be, which is a consistent football team that's competing for, conference championships. And that's our biggest area of growth, is to build the depth, which we feel like we did in recruiting, continue to build the confidence and the development in some young people, and become a better football team each and every year.
But how big was that, have bowl eligibility, getting some big wins against some rival teams, just to carry over in this year?
Yeah, definitely. I thought, though, anytime that you take a program, and they were coming off a 3-win football team. I've been doing it 29 years, so you could see the level of talent that you're like, man, this can be a good football team. But you have to build confidence in young people. I thought that's what they did. As each game went on, their level of confidence and that chip on their shoulder continued to grow, and that's carried over into the off season. I love where their mindset is right now. They're a pro football team mindset that is striving each and every day to improve and be championship worthy.
Yeah, and first and pass offense. How important was that to implement that into your game, and having a guy like Khaleb Hood, a Metro Atlanta product from East Eagles Landing down in McDonough? But what about just that offense and being able to pass the ball and getting that going?
Yeah, that was probably the biggest benefit. Being hired in November in 21, to be able to see those last 3 games. I looked out there and I go, oh my gosh, there's a Khaleb Hood. I mean, there's a Derwin Burgess. There's a Amari Jones. I felt like we needed to bring the quarterback piece into play, which we were able to with Kyle Van Treese. We've doubled up on that this year in bringing Davis Brin and J.C. French in. And so we've been able to build a great passing attack, but also stay balanced. I think one of the hidden gems right now, to be honest with you, is Jalen White, our running back, an 1,100-yard guy, both run and pass last year, and he created that balance for us. So anytime you're going to a new system, you got your fingers crossed that you got enough pieces to be able to get it done. And credit to the kids. They picked up the system, they believed in it, and they thrived off each other.
You mentioned the quarterback. Everyone loves to know who the starting quarterback is. I don't know if you're going to announce that today or if you made a decision, but where are you as far as that goes, as far as quarterback position?
Yeah, I told him, I've said this before, that if we were to play today, Davis Brin is a quarterback. I mean, he's got a ton of experience. You never know as you go through training camp, you cross your fingers that you don't get injuries and things like that, but we've made that position so much more depth-wise for our football team, which is going to help us. Being able to have Davis, a talented young man, and J.C. French, Colton Fitzgerald, Colby Walton. I think David Davis is going to take some time with it coming off of his surgery, but it's something that room has grown, and as that room has grown, I think our confidence of our football team and our passing game has grown.
Yeah, then what about defensively? You have Watson, Trent back as linebacker, played more than 900 snaps for you on defense and special teams. What about that unit and just the areas you've seen in them grow and
that's probably where we're going to have to grow throughout the year. We have 9 returning starters on offense, 4 on defense. I think we've upgraded our personnel and recruiting over the last year, but you also bring in a new system. Brandon Bailey, who did a tremendous job at Buffalo last year, got to see that firsthand, and when we lost Will Harris to the NFL, to be able to garner Coach Bailey was really important. Kids have bought into that system. Now it's just the ability to grow. We got 15 total practices in the spring, thank God for 25 more, but it's literally year 1 for that system. And so I think that will be a team and a unit that consistently gets better throughout the year.
And how's it been in Statesboro? Obviously, your previous position was in the West Coast, and going to Statesboro and the Southeast. How's that been for you and your family, just getting acclimated to the culture?
Yeah, my wife and I have thoroughly enjoyed it. My wife, I think, puts it the best. We absolutely love the people, the pace, the peace, and then, my family. I grew up in the Southeast, so proximity of being around my mom and dad, my brother, our family unit, it's been a great fit for us, and absolutely having a blast in Statesboro.
Yeah, and what about just Georgia football? I mean, we're based in Atlanta, Georgia, so we cover Georgia State, Georgia Tech, Georgia Southern, starting to get that involved. Just even the prep scene. What is about the state of Georgia being a part of this atmosphere? I mean, because you're seeing all the talent. I mean, producing so much quality. What's that being like, being in the heart of it now?
That was probably the most exciting thing about taking the job, having grown up in the Southeast. You knew how good the recruiting base was, and so you don't have to go too far out. We've always believed in being a development team. We've signed 40 high school freshmen over the last 2 recruiting cycles. Have taken a couple transfers at key positions, but when you look at the blueprint that Coach Russell had, it started with Georgia. And off our 120-man roster that's going to come to camp, 83 of them are from the state of Georgia. So if you concentrate on the state of Georgia and the attached states of Alabama, Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Tennessee, you've got enough there to win championships. And being in that state of Georgia, man, we have so much talent, and it's so well coached, and they're so college ready that you don't have to go too far.
Yeah, and just lastly, what about expectations of the program? It's national championships have been won in Statesboro, and I'm sure the fan base has a high standard. How have you guys dealt with that, and just what we have to do well this year to reach that championship level, or get
definitely. It's pretty neat. Every time I look out my window, our office is right there in the stadium. And I look out that window, and every morning I have my cup of coffee, and I see those 6 national championship flags. And you know what you represent, the tradition of excellence that is Georgia Southern. And you know the expectations. And that's why I came. That's why we all came, to be a part of that as players, as coaches. And so to be able to get there, we have to continue not to be comfortable or stagnant based on doing a couple nice things last year. We got to continue to grow and continue keeping a mindset of being able to go 1-0 each week and staying in the moment, not looking too far ahead. Yeah, it's going to be really exciting to go to Nebraska. Go to Wisconsin. We're excited about that, but you can't get that far ahead. You got to start right from game 1. And because in college football right now, you don't bring your A game, you're going to get your butt beat.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's so competitive. So if we keep that mental discipline of trying to go 1-0 each week, I think we're going to be a lot better football team at the end of it.
Hey, one thing I'd be remiss to say, because actually Georgia Tech ties in with Georgia Southern. Paul Johnson is a Hall of Famer. What's that like to have a Hall of Fame head coach, or a coach that has some success at the program, become a Hall of Famer just for you and the community?
So excited for Coach Johnson and for Georgia Southern. He means so much to our program. He's had so much success in college football. He's one of the more well-liked figures and respected figures amongst coaches, as well as people that know the game. I'm excited for him and excited for Georgia Tech, Georgia Southern, where he's been both at. Got my fingers crossed that one day we all get smart enough to put Coach Russell in there too, and be a part of that.
Agree with the rules. We'll talk later about that. Yes, we all know about that. Yes,
we're so excited to see Coach Johnson go in.
Yeah, all right.